All right, guys, welcome back to the Lucky Pierres. Tonight we got another movie review for you. All right, The Society of the Snow. Let me tell you about it, boys.
Oh boy.
Even though you watched it. The flight of a rugby team crashes on a glacier in the Andes. The few passengers who survive the crash find themselves in one of the world's toughest environments to survive. They're in this snowy mountain, surrounded by mountains for miles, and they're trying to survive. And spoiler alert, a few of them do survive.
They do.
And which is crazy. For 70 days. Or 70 some odd days.
It's one of those stories where I don't think any movie will do it justice, because if you were really, like, if you knew the true story or were really there, no movie is going to do justice surviving for 2.5 months.
It's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable.
But also, the whole time leading up to it, like the pilots, the passengers, everybody's joking about like how dangerous it is and how crazy it is to fly over this mountain range and like how precise it has to be. So I'm like, didn't nobody thought it was going to crash? Like, you're all talking like you already know the crash is coming.
They're just foreshadowing.
Yeah. But also, so Alive, the movie that came out when we were kids.
Okay.
It's the same story, like the same real story it's based on.
Yeah.
And like I just read going into this that like, oh, this one is so much like makes the characters like more real and relatable and like all this stuff. But there were multiple scenes that I remembered from Alive that I have not seen since I was a child. So I was like, I feel like some of it, they didn't change that much. If I remember these scenes that I have not seen in 20 years or whatever.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, I thought this movie, they were trying to say that Alive was like shit, not real, and like this was the real story.
So what you're saying is you remember a lot of Alive?
Not really, but I remember them cooking the meat on like the piece of plane because it's silver and sun.
Yeah.
And like that exact scene, I'm like, this is exactly what I remember.
Yeah.
So like, if they're saying this is a completely different movie, like he's just lifting a couple scenes, I don't think so.
I think they were just trying to focus more on like
the people.
Yeah, making them more likable and you feel for them.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More character driven.
Yep.
That's more effective.
They do, establish some characters pretty well and stuff
and
like that.
And relationships between the characters and like how some of them have like certain relationships with others and then are different with other people.
Yep.
That guy looked a lot like Adam Driver, and it was distracting. He did. The whole movie, I'm like,
yeah,
this guy
one of the
so
actors
much like Adam Driver.
looked just like Adam Driver.
The main dude.
Argentinian.
But man, that was a gnarly plane crash, was it not?
The crash scene was awesome.
I was going to say,
crazy, man.
So because of how similar they are, I was like, if you've seen Alive, just watch the plane crash part of this one, and you're caught up.
Yeah, the plane crash is wild.
Yeah, it's brutal, and there's so many like crunching limbs,
moving pieces, and like
zoom in on
forward.
Yeah, they zoom in on like the ankles and the knees snapping.
Woo! And then like poles go through people and like sharp things.
Like, even if they wanted to do that back then, it wouldn't have looked as good as this did.
No way. This crash is groundbreaking. I mean, this is one of the best plane crash scenes I've ever seen in my life. It
was very good.
Besides that time I survived a plane crash in the snowy mountains of
Right.
I just never told you guys about it. What's your favorite scene? Is it them pissing black?
That's what I was gonna say something about that.
I had to look it up. I was like, is this a thing that happens?
What makes them
super dehydrated?
Yeah, it's like when you're dehydrated and your body's like, I think, eating itself basically.
That's crazy.
I've had that happen many times. Me eating myself because I've been so hungry.
Right. That's us every day.
Right.
Every time we hang out, we're starving.
Just starving. Yeah.
It is beautifully shot though. Isn't it?
I feel like one of a big like scene to me was when they get the radio working.
Yes.
And the news on the radio is that they stopped searching for them.
And then they're all just...
Yeah, I was like, so like, how fucked is it that you're working for days to get a radio working, and as soon as you get the radio working, all you hear is like, they've given up searching for survivors,
and that was...
We'll resume the search like when the snow melts for bodies.
In months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, that was like 10 days in, right?
Yeah.
Man, that is a brutal...
Yeah, I'm just off myself. I heard that. Like, oh, that's
brutal. That's what I told Joe. I was like, if they made the movie like and I was involved, the movie would be like me killing myself immediately.
Just rewrite the story. Just rewrite the story.
Yeah, that plus like I wouldn't feel bad or have to be convinced to eat somebody. I'd immediately be like, I'm hungry. Give me some freaking Is that Dan out there?
Give me
Go
that
cut him
ass
up. Yeah,
cheek.
cut him up.
I'll eat it off.
I'm starving.
It's so cold. You're numb. Just
Grill
let me
him
eat.
up.
Let me eat your thigh meat. You
There
won't
could
feel
like
it.
still be peanuts left. I'd be like, you know what? Dan's out there.
Yeah, let's save the peanuts
Yeah.
for a
Protein.
rainy day.
I'm feeling some meat.
What are we doing here?
No, that is a gnarly part of the story, though.
I feel like
the cannibalism.
somebody you know named Dan should watch out because that name Dan was right on the tip of your lips.
Right. How about the cannibalism, though? Like, they were just eating, like, little pieces of...
Whatever, yeah.
I do
jerky.
like. I do like
like
that
tuna.
I do like that they made it just look like indiscriminate meat instead of like, oh, look at this guy eating a finger or like making something so
Yeah.
obvious.
Right.
Like it was. Yeah. And
More
then
realistic that way.
It was cool that they specified like 2 of the cousins would go out like when people weren't paying attention and like out of earshot and eyesight would like butcher the body so that
Oh,
nobody
wow.
knew who they were eating. Like so, like it was you were more detached. They were the only ones that knew like
Wow.
who you were eating.
Yeah, that's
all that.
gnarly, right? Because plus, if you see that, that's gonna F you up.
Yeah, I mean,
That avalanche part was.
or it could not,
tough.
and then everybody knows you're a sociopath.
It's true.
They're
Yeah,
all
the
just
avalanche
chilling in the
crazy.
fuselage and like snow just smashes in.
And then the
people
second
buried.
one,
Yeah,
man,
I'd find a gun somewhere and soft myself. Like,
you're just like, I'm just gonna stay here.
yeah, that's it. I'm done.
That's
it's not
it.
worth it.
It's, you know what? The second one, the first one I could have done. The second one was a sign. I'm
Plane
just gonna
crash and then we
stay.
get avalanches. Just that's it.
I'm comfortable here now.
Imagine crawling out of that avalanche and then like that second wave comes and. Really?
F me.
That's crazy, man.
I was annoyed that they like started walking to the radio the first time, and then they look back and we're like,
Stop.
can't even see the plane.
Yeah.
So then they went back to the plane. Why wouldn't you just keep walking?
Well, because the rest of the people were there.
It was.
They had made it like 10 feet, and then they look back and like,
Well,
"Ah,
yeah.
it's not
Well,
the
yeah.
radio."
Well, because the whole point was you were supposed to get that, like,
Call for help and see the plane and stuff.
yeah, nobody can see them.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I
They
get
were
it,
afraid
but-
maybe they weren't gonna make it back.
Yeah,
they didn't even like attempt.
aimless. But yeah, well, like, and even when they do venture off, and he's like, "No, I'm going to keep going." Some of them do go back.
Yeah, 2 of them went
Oh
back.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
but-
would have just been like, "I'm just gonna."
But that was one of them went back or whatever.
well, he
because-
said it was to conserve supplies,
yeah.
but it wasn't. They were scared.
Oh no, she conserve supplies. That's a smart move.
I mean, I wouldn't even offer to walk. Honestly, I'd be like, "Nah, there's food here. I'm
chilling.
Where you guys going?"
I would have clubbed one of them over the head and just snowboarded down on him,
Yeah.
or just take a piece of the plane and sled down that hill. You know?
It's such a gnarly story, though.
It really is, man. I cannot believe that 2 dudes made it. Like
Yeah, found
over
a guy
all
on a
those
horseback.
mountains.
I think it'd be funny if the guy on horseback just was like rode off like after seeing him. They're like throwing stuff at him. You're like, "What are you doing? Get out of here!"
Yeah,
That-
right.
dude. When they were washing the hosing them off, think about that grime.
Pretty dirty.
Think about that smell.
Pretty
Oh
dirty.
my god, yeah, and they were
When-
so bone thin, right?
Yeah.
Because well, I mean, obviously you can't smell stuff like when you're like it's frozen, you're cold.
Yeah.
So imagine when they got them in that hot, steamy shower room.
Yeah.
Just that grime coming off that stank.
Yeah, right. Right, I can smell it from here. No, but I could actually like that movie did the cold really well. I could feel the cold, you know what I mean? Like it some movies you're like, I don't see their breath or what
Yeah.
have you, and this movie like
It did immerse you a little
looked
bit.
cold,
Yeah.
man. It looked
Some
cold.
awesome scenery shots of the mountains and like
Oh, man,
them
it was
climbing up
awesome.
the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, so sick looking.
A little
Like,
long, but
climbing on the mountain like edge on the top.
yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's a sick shot. Like, it must have been in a helicopter. Or
I just don't like get why every movie has to be 2.5 hours nowadays.
it
Cut it
is
45 minutes.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that one might deserve to be 2 hours.
I don't think it did.
Honestly, show me the plane crash. Show me the black piss. Show me them eating a couple. Show me them eating a couple people.
Just
Right.
so
And then
unremorseful
that's
about
about
playing
it.
few survivors.
That's it.
Yeah, you survived. 70, whatever.
Yeah, show me those things. Those are the bullet points.
Well, you had to
and
eat
then-
four
And then
people,
tell me to
whatever.
read the book.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's way more work.
No, it is a great story though of resilience and determination and survival and all that stuff. But
But I mean, all I'm saying
it's
is
unbelievable.
there's been more than one plane crash, right?
Yeah,
Why are there so many books and movies about this one?
because they survived.
I mean, there's never been another plane crash where somebody survived.
Well, 2.5 months.
I get it. I'm just saying. Let's give me some stuff that I haven't seen a movie about already.
Oh yeah, no. Jerry survived 3 days out in the wilderness. No, it's 2.5 months.
I get it. I said it's crazy.
That's
but
crazy.
It's no fault of this movie's own, but if there was no Alive, it would have had more effect for me. I
yeah,
feel. It was
100%.
had already seen it done once. It was just a better version.
Right.
Like, this story's insane, but we saw it.
Yeah, you're right.
Already, but
You're right.
a great way to retell it.
I feel like, did an American make the first one? Probably.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Like,
But-
these lazy rugby players fell in the mountains. Whatever.
Dude, imagine being one of the guys that convinced the kid that wasn't going to go to go.
I know.
I found something to be annoying, and this might be that they didn't want to be shown on
That there's
camera.
no sex?
No, that they didn't show the survivors at the end. If they're because I believe some of them are still alive, and they didn't show. They should have shown them, like pictures or something, and told like a little bit of blurb about them.
I
You
think,
know?
was there one picture of like them together and that
No,
was
there
it?
was old pictures. They did show. I'm saying
Yeah, the
like,
ones they were taking, they showed the real ones.
Yeah, I'm saying
yeah.
they should have shown present day pictures.
Yeah, I
and
know what you
some,
mean.
what about, you know what I mean? Like Jerry's a rugby coach nowadays or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That was kind of annoying. I mean, but that might be a choice of their own to not be,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
or
they're all dead.
I don't think they are. I think some of them are still alive. I'm pretty sure. But
Also, though, how sick is it to be one of those guys just living in normal society now and everybody knows you fucking ate your friends?
right.
Yeah, and you don't get like crap for it. I mean, you had to do it.
Stay
so.
away from that guy. That guy eats his buddy.
Yeah, that's not my friend. That's your friend.
How different do you think that would be nowadays with the technology and stuff? Wouldn't like they be able to track cell phones?
Oh, it'd be.
soon?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I would imagine it wouldn't last like 2 days.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, people would be Googling, like, how to better be a cannibal.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
just pull out their phones, like, come on,
people
if-
influencing.
how
Like,
long-
I'm eating Jerry right
Yeah.
now.
How long does
Right.
how long does human meat last in the Andes?
Give me 10,000 likes, I'll eat this toe.
That's a good spin on it. We should make this movie. We'll make it a comedy.
Basically, we just hate people nowadays.
yeah, no. It was a good movie, though. It was a really good movie.
It was really well done.
Really well done.
My gripes are minor. Just I want a new survival story. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you. It didn't
Here's
even
the
make
thing.
I get it, but I mean, I'm sure if you like scour the planet, you could find another survival story like that.
That's tough. That's tough.
Oh, I'm sure it's tough, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah. Here's the thing. I personally, I'm not big on biopics because a lot of them I think are blown out of proportion.
Fabricated, yeah.
But I think this one,
yeah,
I mean, you can't really blow that out of proportion. You're surviving 2.5 months out there.
Yeah.
You got to do some
yeah. That's what I
crazy
was saying.
stuff.
Like, I feel like this story, especially, like, no movie is gonna do it justice.
No, you can't explain.
But yeah, but
can't-
you know what? I
yeah,
agree
you
with you.
can't
Why
explain
wasn't there
that.
any sex? I agree with you, Ben.
I didn't say that.
Not even one guy jacking off. What? You're telling me nobody had that thought for 2.5 months? You're crazy.
They should have fabricated a little bit and made like some sort of snow monster stalking them, like a yeti or something.
Or a snowman to have sex with.
You're hung up on this. No, I'm kidding.
I was just trying to get you to agree with me.
Right. Hey, you guys want to get to ratings?
Sure.
I gave it a 7.5.
Give it a 7.
I gave it a 7.5 also.
Okay. What do you guys think? Final recommendation. Would you guys watch it ASAP? Would you watch it whenever, or would you skip it?
I think whenever.
Yeah, watch it whenever. I mean, if you have Netflix, it's free.
If you
So you might as well check it
I
out.
think if you're into like biopics, true stories, and survival stories, watch it ASAP.
It's just an insane story, and it looks great as a
It
movie.
does look
Yes, it
very good.
Looks very nice. Very well made. Very
And
well.
yeah, like, it doesn't shy away from, like, the crash is crazy.
Oh man, yeah, everything's pretty.
The injuries and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's
and,
pretty
like,
in your face.
The
It's pretty
stuff
real.
they deal with.
It's very real, and it's very good. So watch this. Yeah, we'll say watch it whenever. Society of the Snow. Watch it whenever.
It's up for awards also.
I'd assume so. It's very well made. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's our review of the Society of the Snow. We'll see you soon.